Hey everyone, how you doing? This is Amon Green, Gourmet Packers all-time leading rusher, and you're watching Packers Total Access Live, your daily source for Packer content. Go Pack, go!
What's up, guys? Welcome into the PTA pregame show. My name is Clayton. You can check us out on packernet.com. Find me on Twitter at Packers_access. Joined alongside Jacob in Wisconsin here to talk Packers Cowboys. We are roughly an hour and 20 minutes away from kickoff. We got some other games that are still going on around the league, so we'll just walk you guys around the league, talk about who won, who lost, how it affects the standings, and we'll even give you an updated look at the standings by the time this show is over. Before we get into all that, though, if you guys would, let's do that YouTube stuff. Hit like, hit subscribe. If this is your first time tuning into PTA, welcome. Thank you for making us a part of your pregame festivities. We are not experts. We're not insiders. We're not media members. We are fans just like you out here talking Packers on the daily. So you're tuning into the pregame show. We'll be back live for the postgame show immediately following the game. Make sure you click subscribe, click that bell icon so you're notified every time we do go live. Jacob, how are we feeling about this game, man?
I'm a little bit nervous. My stomach is in some knots, but all in all, I am feeling pretty confident. I just learned my lesson last week that I can't be overconfident. I should say we as a fan base should not be overconfident, but I like a lot of the metrics I've seen over the week. Listen to obviously you and the boys and Ryan kind of breaking down what this matchup's going to entail. I'm excited, but I am nervous, but I am excited.
Yeah, I've had several Cowboy fans reach out to me today. I was talking about this on a live stream we did earlier this morning. We were watching the Vikings game live in here on the channel, and everybody is just – they are so pissed off at Jerry Jones, and it almost feels like they want the Packers to win just to prove a point to Jerry Jones, which is a wild place to be. As you see down there in Jerry World, the stand's starting to fill up, and they got the roof open for this one. So it's going to be an awesome night. It's going to be electric, man. Sunday night football, national stage. Obviously, the Micah Parsons storyline will lead the way. Brandon in the chat says, just got out of a 13-hour shift, showered, and put on the best show around. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Jen Wright says, me too, Brandon. Thank y'all so much for the kind words. I'm excited about this, man. It's going to be a fun game to dive into. Before we get into the inactives, which we already have those, let's just give you a quick walk around the league. We're going to keep this really, really brief because obviously these games aren't over yet. But earlier today, well, let's talk about earlier today. The Steelers defeated the Vikings 24-21. So the Vikings now fall to 2-2. So obviously they're going to sink in the standings just a bit here in the NFC North. The Lions defeated the Browns 34-10. The Browns handed them that game. Well, I was the whole game. I'm thinking, Jacob, boy, I wish they'd have gave us all them gifts. My God, that game wouldn't have been near as close for them to come back and beat the Packers last week. Also, you've got here with 3 minutes left in the game, the Jaguars are leading the 49ers 26-21. The 49ers are undefeated, so obviously that has implications there in the NFC. You've got the Chiefs beating the Ravens 37-13 with 10 minutes left there in the game. And then, of course, the Rams just went final. We were hoping the Colts would beat them, but the Rams did come out victorious 27-20. The Falcons beat the Commanders 34-27. The Bills beat the Saints 31-19. Patriots boat raced the Panthers 42-13. The Giants beat the undefeated Chargers 21-18. Jackson Dart with his first start as a rookie quarterback, man, hell of a job they did pulling that game out there. Obviously, it was at the Meadowlands, but still nice win for the Giants over the Chargers. So everybody kind of pumped the brakes on the Chargers just a little bit. Eagles, Buccaneers, Jacob, one of the best games of the day. You got to tip your cap to Baker Mayfield, man, clawing and scratching, doing everything you can to keep that team in every game that they play. Unfortunately, they fell short to the Eagles 31-25. I was really hoping the Buccaneers would win that game, albeit it was two undefeated teams there in the NFC. And then, of course, the Texans completely blanked the Titans 26-0. Obviously, Thursday night football, Seahawks defeated the Cardinals 23-20. What do you think about the score rundown here? As it looks like the Raiders are now up 24-19 over the Bears with 6 minutes left in the game.
Yeah, I mean, I went to breakfast and watched that Vikings game with a Viking friend of mine and got to enjoy the salty tears of him watching them kind of crap the bed over there in Ireland. But, thought Rodgers looked great, which was fun to see him go out there and compete again. Other than, the Rams kind of besting them and obviously the Eagles and the Lions, I think this scoreboard kind of works out pretty well for the Packers, just as far as knocking off some teams, kind of putting a few behind the 8 ball right there. And let's see if the Bears can maybe not bear it up. And if the Raiders can get out of here with a victory, that really puts them in a hole to start the season.
Yeah, you see here Caleb Williams on the day, 18 of 32 for 170 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, which was batted at the line of scrimmage and picked off by Max Crosby. He's been sacked 1 time for a loss of 10 yards. The big thing here that's keeping the Bears in this game, Geno Smith just keeps gift wrapping interceptions. He's got 3 interceptions on the day now. I seen Pat Daddy tweeted out, can we just please pull Geno already before they screw around and let the Bears back in this, as Caleb is back to pass. Yeah, that was live. So, yeah, it looked like a first down conversion there. Actually, it's going to be 2nd and 5 with 6:27 left. What do you think about Caleb Williams here, man? Obviously, 19 of 33, not very efficient. Ben Johnson getting rude with the sideline reporters. He was going into halftime. He's just an absolute ass, dude. It's going to be so fun rooting against him this year.
Yeah, I agree. Caleb Williams, to me, I think that's what he is. He's a guy that's going to have, roughly 50% pass completions. He's going to give you maybe a tutter and a few splash plays, but I just don't think he's a difference maker the way that most people thought he was. And I think that he pretty soon he's going to be getting ready to go.
Get ready to go.
I believe so too.
Yeah.
Now listen, he shows flashes, right? Like you said, splash plays. But man, oh man, you look up sometimes and it's like, what are you looking at? Get the ball out of your freaking hand. I'm glad he didn't get the ball out of his hand, but you understand what I'm saying. So obviously they can't get the running game going. They 20 carries, 46 yards on the day, although they did just pick up a first down on the ground. It's 1st and 10, 5 minutes left, play fake. Caleb back to pass. He's looking, probably 5-6 seconds. Should have been a hold right there. Let's see if they call it. We got a flag. We do not have a flag. So they did not call the hold there. 1st and 10 as he rolled left and converted there. Again, holding on to the ball for well over 5 seconds. So the big thing there is Ashton Gianti, 19 carries for 135 yards as well. So let's talk a little Packers here, man. We got the inactives list. So Pete Doherty, I hope I'm saying that right. How would you say it, Jacob? Help me out here.
Pete Doherty, yeah.
Doherty. All right, we got it. Packers safety Javon Bullard is active, back from the concussion. Guard Aaron Banks, who was doubtful, is inactive. So 3 of their top 7 offensive linemen are inactive. Here is their full inactive list. You've got cornerback Kamal Haddon, offensive lineman Zach Tom, offensive lineman Aaron Banks, offensive lineman Anthony Belton, and defensive lineman Warren Brinson are your inactive. So the story of the night's going to be get the ball out of your freaking hand quick, Jordan Love. I know the Cowboys don't have a great pass rush, but they can look great when you're down to arguably what would that be? Your 8th best offensive lineman, probably going to be in the starting rotation tonight.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's tough. If I sit here and tell you that I wasn't worried about that situation, I'd be lying to you. Coach Len is asking who's going to be at right tackle. Kennard. I would have to think it'd be Kennard, wouldn't you?
That's who I would go with. But man, I'm telling you, last week, what did they do? They put Jordan Morgan at right tackle. Right now, after Aaron Banks went out, I believe they kicked Jordan Morgan over to left guard. Right. So if I had to guess, I would say it's going to be Rasheed Walker from left to right. Rasheed Walker, it would be Jordan Morgan, Elton Jenkins, Sean Ryan, and then probably Kennard at right tackle, I would imagine. That's the way I would go. How would you do it, Jake?
That's exactly how I do it. I don't know who else you'd plug in besides that. Because when we brought up, was it Branton Banks? Is that the rookie UDFA? I can't remember the guy's name. I think it was something like that. But
Brant Banks, I believe.
Brant Banks. Okay. I didn't know if they'd trust him enough to actually get out there, but I think it has to be Kennard. I mean, this is, when guys like me were kind of scratching our heads when we made that move, this is why we made that move, because in an emergency situation, you got a guy that's played significant football with a really great football team. And, he's a professional. So we're asking that he comes in here, next man up mentality kind of thing. It's a tough situation to go into on the road, a big loud stadium like that, like the Cowboys have there. It's going to be fun though. 2-0 for this Brant Banks, good old BB gun. So yeah, I expect him to come in and perform. We can't make excuses. The NFL, everybody's a pro.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of a pro, Rob Demovsky tweeted this video out. Airport security earlier today. You see our boy Micah Parsons coming through airport security. Got the pinstripe suit on. I said he looked like a mob boss that had to fly into town so he could take care of business himself, like somebody couldn't put the hit on. So my man looking sharp there. What kind of knot do you think Micah Parsons is going to have here, man? What do you think?
I mean,
he was the best guy around.
I think that he's going to be absolutely foaming at the mouth. You know, you hear a lot of the interview, that kind of stuff of him just saying, you know, it's just another game, just another game. I don't believe that's really how he feels. I have to believe that Micah Parsons is an absolute competitor and that when he comes in, he's going to want to absolutely wreck this game. I mean, he really does, I think, want to put a statement to that front organization, probably to Jerry Jones himself, that says, hey, man, you absolutely screwed up when you let me go, and I'm going to make sure that you hear about it as much as you can.
Yeah, 2-0 for this. Says, interesting they're letting lethal weapons through, but checking baggage. Interesting. Nice. Soder said 8 sacks. My God, Soder, I hope you're correct, sir. That would be absolutely awesome, man. So, obviously, Micah dressed for success this evening. Going back to the Bears game, they are driving. Caleb's had a couple scrambles on this drive. It looks like they're going to run it down to the 2-minute warning. It's going to be a 1st and 10. Chicago's got all 3 timeouts. They're down by 5 points, so they got to score a touchdown to win here. We'll keep you guys updated on that game for those who are not watching. I know Coach Landis said the Bears are marching. Yes, they are, man.
Sure. What do you think about Soder's comment here saying the first night we get to see Parsons and the Packer D on synthetic surface?
Ooh, that's interesting. A little nerve-wracking for me, man. I don't like the turf.
Yeah, honestly.
Turf gets me nervous on the knees, but.
Yeah, I agree. But to the same thing, you know, the other side of that coin is that these guys are going to be shot out of a cannon. We've seen how fast even like Gary, LVN, Wyatt, obviously Parsons has been on natural surfaces. You might see a lot more speed, a lot more lightning. You know what I mean?
Deadfish points out, looks like the Jags beat the 49ers. That's 2-minute warning, 1st down Jags, no timeouts for the Niners. Let's get those scores back up on the screen for y'all, and we'll just kind of keep up in real time here. Obviously, it's football season when you're keeping up with every score across the league, and this is just the 4th week of the season. We're acting like, all right, the playoffs are on the line here. Hilarious. Let's go back and check out the scores real quick. So let's see what we got here live. Yeah, Jaguars, Niners. So Jaguars ball, 1:59 left there. Like you said, the 2-minute one. It's going to be a 2nd and 12 there at San Francisco's 36-yard line. So obviously we're all Jaguar fans today. They're leading 26-21, and we want the 49ers to drop the 3-1 here this evening. So we'll keep an eye on that one as well. The Bears are on commercial right now. As soon as they come back, we'll give you live updates on their 2-minute drive here to try to win the game with the game-winning touchdowns. So is there anything else that's still going on that's close? The Rams is over. I think that's pretty much all we're watching, right, Jacob? We're just looking at the Niners, Jaguars, and we're also looking at the Bears, Raiders. So those are the 2 we're keeping up with. All right. Let's see what else we got here. Wes Hokowitz had put a tweet out earlier talking about the roof being open. How do you feel about Jerry World, man? You a big Jerry World fan? How do you feel about that stadium?
I mean, it's no Lambeau, but as far as, I think it's cool what they did there. They got that Jumbotron and the receding roof, much like my receding hairline. I like that it can open and close, it's, I don't know. It is what it is. I heard they got a great facility. It seems like Kenny's happy there. So in that aspect, I guess it's cool, but nobody can mimic Lambeau. But basically this is Lambeau South. So for that adage, let's go.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Let's jump back into the Bears game here as they're back on the field now. We'll go to the box score and just kind of keep an eye on the statistics here. We'll give you play-by-play. Caleb back to throw. Max Crosby had a hand on him, and he somehow gets away. That is definitely Caleb Williams' superpower, man. It's his ability to scramble. If he did not have that ability to get out of the pocket and move around the way he does, he would be a below-average quarterback, in my opinion. Really would. He buys a lot of time, but it's almost like Max was expecting to be able to knock that ball out of his hands. Outside speed rush, slaps the hand, goes right on by, and kind of a mistake there by Max, honestly. You got to square up and just keep him in that pocket. You can't let him get out there on the edge like that. All right, here we go. 2nd and 10, 1:53 left. Bears ball at the 13-yard line. Caleb out of the gun. They're going Trey right nasty. Y is going to flex out a little cheat motion. Caleb scrambles to his left. Surprise, surprise. Max Crosby running him down. Caleb is out of bounds at about the 9-yard line, it looked like. So going to be 3rd down here. I don't understand when defenses refuse to play a contain like that. It just drives me insane. We've seen it earlier today with Pittsburgh too, and they just they kept allowing Carson Wentz to get out on the edge there with the Vikings. And it's like, if you're going to load up for a blitz like that, man, make sure someone is playing contain on the outside. It's just wild. All right, 3rd and 3, 1:45 left. Bears are trying to punch this thing in for the go-ahead score. They're in a gun set again. They're going to hand the ball off, run and play left. DJ Swift, he picks up the first down at about the 2-yard line, it looks like. So you got a 1st and goal for the Bears. Somebody's calling a timeout here. Who's calling? Is it the Bears or the Raiders? Might have been the Raiders. We're seeing here. Let's see. 1st and goal. Not showing who called it. Yeah, it looks like it's probably the Raiders, I believe. So timeout Raiders. We'll get back to that here in a second. All right. What do you think is your key to the game here, Jacob? How do you feel about this, man?
I've been thinking about that all day. I'd like us to be able to get out and establish the run, but I guess want to see Jordan Love in the passing game get established and get into a rhythm early. It seems like it's taken him a little bit, kind of a rocky start to get in motion. Like, I want to see him get Wicks involved early and often. I'd love to see Golden, obviously, get more separation and actually capitalize off of that, get the kid his first, touchdown, and then maybe it all starts coming a lot easier, a lot smoother. But I want us to try to establish the run and get Jacobs involved. It just feels like this whole season it's been tough sledding for him. And obviously the offensive line, I think it comes down to whether or not these backups and, some of these younger guys can step in and absolutely kind of wash away what happened last week. I mean, it was not like, we can't sugarcoat it. It was tough to watch. That was maybe one of the worst offensive line plays that I've seen in my adult life, if not ever. And I think the guys need to rebound from that. Going on the 2nd consecutive road game, I want to come out with the piss hot, as Matt says. So I just am, that's what I want to see. I want to see how they react to last week and that absolute adversity and kind of getting embarrassed, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. The Bears scored outside zone run, little stretch play there, make it to the pylon. So now they're going for 2. They're up by 1 right now. They're going to try to make this a 3-point game. I may be eating my words here in a minute, but I have zero faith in Geno Smith going down the field. I mean, he has played like – I haven't seen a quarterback play this bad in a long time, man. Geno Smith has looked like hot garbage today. So here we go. They're going to line up in a bunch, nasty nub left. Caleb scrambling again. Throwing across his body, it is intercepted. We'll try to return it. Yeah, take it all the way anyway, buddy. Just in case. I don't think he was out of bounds there. He was not out of bounds. Why did he rule it incomplete? What the hell's going on? That is really strange. Did he not intercept that? The ball didn't hit the ground. Is it because I don't know what the heck's going on. That was really weird. Somebody help me in the chat. Did that not look weird? Why were they saying incomplete? The guy caught the ball, right? He had both feet in bounds, and he throws it back in bounds. That was strange. Anyway, so it's a 1-point game here, Jacob. They'll have 1:34 for the Raiders with 2 timeouts to go down and try to get a field goal. Who knows, man? They may be able to pull this off, but we'll see. I appreciate everybody joining us here on the PTA pregame show. We're just kind of winding down with the Bears game here, rooting against Chicago. If you guys would hit that like button for us, hit subscribe, click that bell icon so you're notified when we do go live. Murph, why was that incomplete, man? Did it? I didn't see the ball hit the ground. Did you? That was really strange. Oh, so it did. Coach Lynn's saying it did hit the ground. Okay, got you. Maybe I just didn't see it. Of course, I'm watching the quad box too, so it's not like it's full screen. So that's probably got something to do with it. All right. So my keys to the game, Jacob, it's real simple, man. Don't abandon the run. It's going to be real easy to look at their pass defense and go, let's just throw it all over the yard. And I do expect Jordan Love to have some nice stats tonight. Don't get me wrong. But press into the run, man. Get that thing going. Run out of 11 personnel. Get away from 12 just a touch and get into 11. Spread things out a little bit. Get the running game going. Don't try to get into a shootout with Dak. If you look up in the 4th quarter and you're trying to throw the ball all over the freaking yard and it's a 1-score game, I'm going to be ready to pull my hair out. You know what I mean? You just take what the defense gives you. Don't try to get too cute knowing how bad their pass defense is. So look like they got a decent return here. The Raiders are now going to be at the 42-yard line. So they're really, really close to field goal range already. Geno out of the gun. He's back to pass. They bring an all-out blitz. Lets it go. Completed and out of bounds to Brock Bowers. So probably a gain of about 8. Jacob, they got a good shot here, man.
Let's go. I like what Soder says here about keys to the game. He says no turnovers and don't get flagged 14 times. The amount of penalties this year has probably been one of the most frustrating things to deal with because that just, if you have 14 penalties, it just basically shows that you're an undisciplined team. And I don't believe that that's the type of ship that Matt LaFleur and Halfley and Rich and those types of guys run and expect. So, yeah, I would absolutely keep it under 8. And that's sad saying that I'd be okay with like 8, but just not double-digit penalties and the types of penalties. I don't want to see any more of these pre-snap stuff. That goes for both sides of the ball. Micah Parsons admitted that, we don't pay this guy multi-millions of dollars to come in here and jump off sides and do it in key situations too. So I would say definitely O-line, penalties, turnovers, basic stuff, but we just got to put it together.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like the Raiders are marching right down the field. They're almost within field goal range already. 48 seconds left. They've got 2 timeouts left as well. They've hit Brock Bowers on 2 different plays and then hit an outside smoke route just now. So here we are in the gun. Gino going to hand it off. I love that play call right there, by the way. Just take it right up the gut. All right. So looks like it's going to be a 3rd and 1. Burn one of your timeouts. Pick up the first down. Then spot it. Try to get a little closer with the next 2 downs. Would be what I would do. Oh, we got a player down, number 74. So they're going to have to use – they already used the timeout, but I guess they're going to count it as an injury timeout. 74, an offensive lineman on the ground for the Raiders. So that may be a little hung up here in a second. Martin says, need a fast start, need to bring that juice. Completely agree.
Yeah, our guys better wake up with their piss hot, like I said before. So
don't be surprised if you see a shot play right out of the gate, right? I could see Matt doing that, a little play action shot play. I just don't want them to get too far away from the running game personally. So, and Jacob, we've been kind of waiting on that running game to get going. Everybody's got differing opinions on why it's not working this year. You guys know I've been pretty vocal. I feel like it's because we're trying to run out of 12 a little too much, 12 and 13. You're condensing everything. You're compacting everything in as opposed to spreading things out a little bit more. I would like to see a lot of trips or tray left, sidecar right, and let's run out of the gun with some zone, a little RPO attached on the outside. But what do you think? Wait, on the surface, what's causing the running game to stutter to you, do you think, man?
I think it's kind of like what you said there with having stuff more condensed. I don't want to say get back to like the Mike McCarthy days where you just basically had a spread offense and tried to run out of it, which, that had its time and day in the league or whatever. But I like the way that Josh Jacobs is running. I just feel like the holes haven't really been there. So I don't want to blame the offensive line, but I think, and just circumstantial football, it just really hasn't been advantageous to try to pound it, I guess. And obviously last week going against Cleveland, it's just, that's one of the best defenses, if not the best defense. Didn't quite look like it today, of course, but like Jen's saying, loading the box up against Jacobs, we got to figure out a way to throw him out of it, I feel like.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's to me, that's the main reason it's been happening. But they're able to load the box a lot more easily when you're in that 12 personnel, right? Because they'll just bring in their base package and they can keep that spur safety kind of hovering around the outside. And I think it was Bates asked the question in the Patreon group. Let me answer this real quick. I ain't going to put it on the screen, but I've seen this question. Bates says, this is a question better for the bye week, but I can't sleep, and I have to ask now before I forget. I was confused between the cover one robber and spur, as they both seem similar. I did my research, and I think I understand the differences now, but you were very good at explaining things. I figured if I was unsure, there might be a couple of peeps out there wondering the same. So appreciate the question. Spur is essentially a position in alignment. A spur safety, and it's more of a college term than a pro term, is when you bring a safety down close to or in the box, okay? A robber is a play call. Okay, like cover one robber means the safety is going to buzz down into the box and play a middle hook curl zone, if you will. So that's the difference there. So 3rd and 2, fourth quarter, 43 seconds left. I got it right here, Jacob. Gino back to pass. Nope, he's going to hand it off, and they are stuffed. So they're going to try a long field goal here. Wow. Or do you go for it, Jacob? How are you approaching this, man?
How long a field goal is that? Well, 55 plus?
It looks like they're 2 yards outside of the line that seems to be the range for the kicker. So it's going to be a lower trajectory as well. Man, poor Pete Carroll looked like he just crapped his depends over there. Did you see that look? Had that 1,000-yard stare, right? You bet, Bates. That's all it is, man. When we say spur safety, it means a box safety, a safety that's playing in the box or maybe not on the line of scrimmage, but down around the box, as opposed to post safety, spur safety, right? Robber is a man coverage call where the safety, one of the safeties, will buzz down and play the hook curl in the middle of the zone, in the middle of the field. So it's kind of a man zone combination there. Yeah, they're going to kick it.
They're going to go 54
you
yarder.
You see what
Daniel
it is,
Carlson. Oh, boy.
This is the good Carlson, right?
Yeah.
So let's see what we got here, guys. Of course, they're going to ice him, right? They've got to ice him.
No, they didn't. Oh, they blocked it.
All right, Jacob, thank you for that. There you go, guys. The kick was blocked.
Son of
the Bears are going to escape out of Vegas with the win. Hell of a ball game there, though. My goodness. So
what's with all these field goals getting blocked, dude? There's been like
no. You're not allowed to say that, Jacob. It's just the Packers that suck. Okay.
There's literally been like 10 of them though in the last 2 weeks. It's insane.
Right. Yeah. There's something going on there, right? And we'll probably hear about it by mid-season. It'll be, there's a crack that was found in the field goal block unit or whatever. Typically, this type of stuff happens, and it's just like tush push. I remember when the tush push started happening. Everybody's like, "Oh, this will leak. I guess this ain't going to last long." Here we are, still talking about it, right? So, it's definitely something that's going on around the league for sure. So, all right, let's see here. Let's take a look at back to the Packers and Cowboys game here. Let's talk coverage for a second. We kind of hit on this earlier in the week. You can't see the Cowboys. They are just off the screen here below the ticker. They're sitting at a 0.40 EPA per dropback. So they're one of the worst pass defenses in the league according to EPA per dropback. And, the Packers are now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They are 6, tied for 6th best in the league. I'll drop that down for just a second. As you can see, what they're running, Jacob, is cover 3 zone 43% of the time, cover 2 zone 26% of the time, cover 4 zone 14% of the time, cover 6 zone, which is a combination of cover 4 and cover 2, 6% of the time. They're only playing man coverage a total of 3% of the snaps, with 2% being cover 1 man. They've shown less than 1% cover 2 man. Now, the question is, do they change it up a bit and press in the man a little bit more because zone ain't working? Because obviously they're one of the worst pass defenses in the league. Or does Matt Eberflus continue with what he's done all along, playing this zone defense? What do you think, man?
I mean, they really don't like to go into zone much, huh? That's kind of crazy. I guess I'm more shocked at the Packers at playing. I guess that's true. I don't know, man. I think they're going to stick with more zone coverage because they are now. Are they without Bland or Diggs, or did they both end up being a go?
What is it now? What was the question?
Bland and Diggs. Are they both not going to play this game, or are they one of them?
That's a good question. I'll go try to run that down real quick.
And I guess the other thing, like I said, the Packers being in 20% cover 1 man, that to me is a little high. I kind of, I was one of those guys a long time ago that we need to play more man. We need to play more man. They need to kind of, match up, follow them around. I don't like that anymore because it seems like the most big plays that we see, we kind of talk about it here. You usually see it's on cover 1 man or some version of it. So I don't know. I like the way that we play, keeping stuff in front of us. I think we have some really athletic backers that utilize that really well. I want to see, that's another thing, is I want to see Edgerrin Cooper have a good day today. Not that he had a bad game last week. I just felt like it was a little bit off. I feel like he was just a little late on like a lot of different tackles, a lot of different gap assignments and that sort of stuff. But I also want to see this defensive line. I mean, I think Rashawn Gary may be one of the most underrated players in the NFL right now. And I think he's probably champing at the bit almost as much as Parsons to go out there and absolutely explode on the field today. And I don't know. I go back and forth with whether or not I think that Dak Prescott is an elite quarterback or just a very good quarterback, or if he's just, I don't want to say he's cheeks, but because his PFF grade sure doesn't show that. He's had a pretty decent career, scoring pretty high. But I don't think he's as mobile as he used to be, and I don't think he's as accurate as he used to be. And obviously, if you take CeeDee Lamb out of that mix, I look for the Packers to maybe exploit that a little bit today, hopefully.
Yeah, it looks like DaRon Bland is back for the for the Cowboys tonight. I think we got a video here. I'll pop up on the screen as someone had tweeted it out. Tommy Yarish said DaRon Bland is back tonight for the Cowboys. So he is playing inactive list, however. CeeDee Lamb, Tyler Booker, Damone Clark, Jaden Blue, Ayani Cornelius, and Jay Toya are the ones that are inactive. It says Jadeveon Clowney is active and will debut for the Dallas on on Sunday Night Football. So that's one you got to kind of watch out for. We know he hasn't lived up to the hype, obviously, throughout his career, but he's been in the league for a while. He's still probably a pretty effective pass rusher. So you got to be careful with Jadeveon Clowney, especially with probably a third or maybe even fourth string right tackle. So we'll see how that goes off the edge there. So
and like Coach says, no, let's not forget that Cooper Beebe, their starting center, is already on IR from the week prior. So they are going to be banged up quite a bit still on that offensive line. And I wonder how healthy Bland is, even though he's starting. I mean, we saw that with Tom. You can get the start and it can go south real quick.
Absolutely. So again, we're down 3 starting offensive linemen. They're down 2 starting offensive linemen. They're down their number 1 receiver in CeeDee Lamb, right? We're down our number 1 receiver in Jaden Reed. Which, can I say this? People are trying to figure out what happened to the offense. What happened to the offense? The same people who convinced themselves that Jaden Reed sucked, all of a sudden are seeing what the offense looks like without Jaden Reed.
Mm-hmm.
And listen, I'm not going to sit here and say that it's not going to get better. I expect it to get better today because obviously the Cowboys are not near the defense that the Browns are. But Jaden Reed, man, put some spec on his name, dude. The guys led the team in receiving yards and receiving touchdowns the last 2 years, and obviously the first of which was his rookie year. So that's a tough sell for me that Jaden Reed sucks and all of a sudden he's out and the offense struggle a bit, but I expect him to bounce back for sure. So,
yeah, I think that's a good point. And Tim has always been the number 1 Bird fan, I think, for sure, but that's a good point, Clayton. I hadn't even thought about that him not being out there could kind of just throw a little bit of a wrench in the spokes of what this offense likes to do.
Yeah. Coach Lynn says, yeah, we miss Reed right now for sure. No doubt about it. Jay Cole says the fact Jerry has been running his mouth all week about Micah and Micah hasn't said anything. I can't wait till tonight. You caught on that too, right, Jay? Like, to me, it feels like Micah's just going to let his play do the talking. And I'm excited about it. But again, can't get too crazy out there. Play within the scheme. Play within the run fits, right? You don't want to give up any explosives on the ground because we're trying to be a superhero, getting sacks. But I'm with you, Jay. I think he's going to eat. I think Gary, too, man. I think, if anything, the Cowboys are going to go out there and go, all right, we're going to make sure Micah doesn't wreck the game plan. Don't be surprised if Gary continues to lead the league in sacks after this game as well. So, all right. Number 1 Packer fan says, Clay, we suiting up for the offensive line or what? LOL. Yeah, he sent a tweet out, man. That exchange was hilarious. I don't know if I could find it that quick, but talking about who's going to play offensive line for the Packers. I'll tell you this, if they come out and they don't really miss a beat tonight, put some more spec on Matt LaFleur's name, dude, because the dude just continues to go out there and play competitive football. And obviously last week was a tough loss, but I love what he's done with this offense through the years for sure. All Good has a question. Is Jenkins at center a mistake? Jenkins, I know everybody's piling on Jenkins, and I've been one too that's pointed out he's not played good, All Good, so I agree in that regard. But the people that think that Josh Myers was playing better football than Elton Jenkins at center, we're only 3 games in, but no, it's not even close. It's not even close. Josh Myers was whiffing on everything. Elton Jenkins got his butt kicked last week. There's no 2 ways about it, right? I think it was Malik Collins that kind of outkicked his coverage there. But yeah, I think it's going to be something with Jenkins that the more time that he and Jordan work together, and those guys. Here's the other thing too: is like the center needs to have some cohesiveness. I think is the right word with the rest of the offensive line, guys. It's moving parts everywhere.
Yeah,
there's nobody going to be able to settle in until we get the injuries. Kind of, you know what I'm saying, Jacob? Like you got to be able to create that chemistry with the 5 you got out there. It's not Madden where you just. No, that guy's rating is just as good. He'll be all right. It just doesn't work like that.
Yeah, I mean, to your point of not having consistency, Coach Len is like, you think we're going to see Brant Banks tonight? Possibly.
I hope not.
I hope not, but it's a possibility, and that stinks that we have to even think about that possibility. So, yeah, the continuity, like you said, the cohesiveness, whatever you want to call it, it hasn't quite been there. And I didn't realize up until somebody said it earlier in a different pod I was watching that, I mean, that offensive line was pretty steady Eddie last year up until obviously the Eagles game when the whole bottom fell out of the trenches there. But other than a few different games, he had a pretty consistent 5 last year, and you could see the level of play indicated that they were comfortable with each other. So I think that's a great point, Clayton.
Yeah. Let's see. There was somebody else here. Oh, here it was. Yeah, All Good said he wanted to make it really, really clear. Josh Myers was awful. I'm not saying I want him back. So, got you, man. Got you there. Obviously, he couldn't even win the starting job out there with the Jets until they had an injury. I believe now he's actually forced into starting. So he was signed on a veteran minimum contract and then ended up being the backup center for the Jets in terms of the depth chart breaking camp. Let's see what else we got here in the chat. You got one, Mark, don't you? 2-0 for this says, seeing other pass rushers draw flags for getting choke holded and held from behind really chaps me arse. Completely agree, man. What game was I watching earlier? I think it was the Vikings game. It felt like every other play was a hold and they wasn't calling it, or they were calling it from time to time. And it was just like, here's the thing, though. There's some stipulations in the rule book, and you probably know more about the rule book than me too over this. But when you use a rip move, right, they're allowed to hold. What a rip move is when you take the edge and you take your inside arm that's against the lineman and you throw that uppercut, right? When you do that, when you throw that uppercut, they're allowed to hold you now. That's what the rule book says. So it's their way of combating that rip move. Because what guys were doing was getting that outside edge, and then they would just drive that arm up and they would hook. Think about it. The offensive lineman is trying to block inside the pad structure. And then you take your arm and you hook it inside their inside arm, and it's an automatic hold, right? So I can kind of understand why they would put the rule in place. But the way you combat that, though, stop doing the damn rip move, right? And I feel like Gary doesn't do it near as much as he has in the past because people were just bear hugging him and he wasn't getting the call, if that makes sense. So hopefully that addressed that. But I'm with you, man. It does bother me. It bothers me when I see any other game, and it's like, boy, would have loved to have that convenience for the Packers last week or what have you. So let's see. Mark Coleman says, will Green Bay cause a fumble? 0 so far. Isn't that wild, man? All the talk about balking and no fumbles so far. Jacob, this might be the game it happens.
Yeah, I mean, we've had some I think we got to have some positive regression there. I thought that was an interesting stat by Mark because that was the emphasis in the offseason with Coach Wendell, aka the ball king, the punch outs, all that. Maybe on this faster surface, guys will be a little more careless with the ball. You know what I mean? So I would definitely take that bet that hopefully we have some action today. I just want to see some turnovers. I don't really care how they happen. I just want them to happen. Picks, fumbles, whatever the case may be. I'm here for it.
Yeah, for sure. All right, just trying to take a look. Look who's in the house tonight for the Packers-Cowboys game. This was just came down to pike here. This is pretty cool. I think you're going to like this, Jacob. So in the house, Brett Favre is in the building.
Hey.
Look at the old gunslinger number 4, man.
I don't like the shaved face. He looks younger with the shaved face. Get that scruff going, Brett.
No doubt. And you guys know we got the intro with Favre. I play it from time to time. I've had people go, man, why ain't you playing the Favre intro? It breaks my heart, man. I had to edit that video quite a bit, guys. This is full disclosure, okay? And this may be inappropriate, but it's not like Brett's watching the show. He struggled doing that video with the Parkinson's. You could tell. Like Jacob, I had to literally edit out the dead air and stuff while he put it together for us. And obviously he was in his hunting blind, which I think is perfectly fitting for this stupid little show right here. Right. But it's tough. That's every time I play it, man, it's just like, man, because that hits home to me because Mandy's father died of Parkinson's a couple years ago. Right. So it's like anytime I see some, and we were his caretakers here at our place. So we had to see firsthand that whole decline in his health through Parkinson's and dementia. So seeing that video with Brett and me editing and everything, it was just like, oh man, I don't even like playing it, although we appreciate him putting it together for sure. So anyway, the old gunslinger in the house out there and down. Now, some people were saying, Jacob, wait a minute. If Brett's in the house, does that mean Jordan going to throw some picks? Let's hope not. Let's hope not, right? So.
No, I don't know. He didn't wear the Brett Favre jersey to the pregame, did he? Jordan Love?
Not tonight, the best of my knowledge.
All right. I think we're good. That voodoo, that don't match. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So Ryan Wood just tweeted out, we hear boos inside AT&T Stadium. Look at the field expecting to see Packers running on. It's the Cowboys instead. A lot of cheese heads inside Jerry's world. They've started a few go pack go chants already. We were kind of expecting this, Jacob. Last time they played, man, it was loud on Dak on third down. There were so many Packers in there for the playoffs for sure.
I mean, we travel well, and like we said, this is Lambeau South. This is basically home field 2.0. So I'm excited. I think that tonight we're going to give them a lot of grief. And yeah, it's funny how loud that sometimes we can be at some of these stadiums. Like it is pretty impressive, and that's a testament to how well this fan base travels. And I always, whenever we play the freaking Cowboys and they call them America's team, I just scoff, man. It's come on, let's go.
Right. I always crack up when I think it was ESPN did this tour around the country trying to find America's title town, which team. Well, we've been called title town since the 30s.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about? Like, it's just insane. Absolutely insane. Clint, the armchair quarterback, says Lambeau South. Again, I think it's going to be exciting, man. Have all those Packer fans in the house for sure. I'm going to continue to comb through here, Jake. If you just want to keep hitting on the chat a little bit, I'll see if we got any other news coming down the pipe before we wrap up here shortly.
Yeah, Steve highlights again. Steve, doctor of football nomics, word life. Says Bullard is active. Really excited to see that quick turnaround. Obviously, anytime there's a concussion, head injury, anything like that, you always hope that there's no damage, no permanent damage, anything like that. And it looked like he had a pretty decent last couple of days of practice. I like Bullard a lot. You guys know that. I just think that I like the way he plays aggressive, but I think he needs to play a little smarter. And because the physical traits are there, I think the mental stuff just needs to progress a little bit. And if he can put those two together, he's going to be a really good player in this league. But I look for him, if he is going to be in the game tonight, to hopefully, just like I say, play calm and collected. But I really want to see the way that Nate Hobbs comes out. Now that he's had a few games under his belt, another guy that plays with some aggressivity, if you will. And I just want to see us come out there and with the piss hot. I felt like last time I challenged the team, like they listened to me, but that was what I wanted to see, was how they react to the first road game, whether or not they're going to come out flat. And I thought on the defense, they really came out pretty well, but the offense just seemed to sputter. So if we can get both sides of the ball, three sides of the ball, coming out, not making mistakes and playing fast, I think we have a good shot to come out with a fast start.
Yeah, and I was pretty vocal in terms of Bullard, Jacob, this week and putting the game plan together and this and that. If he's not 100%, and obviously he missed quite a bit of practice time, he was limited all week because of concussion protocol, I would much rather see Nate Hobbs play the slot, let him get completely healthy, and have Carrington Valentine and Keyshawn Nixon on the outside. As you see here with the PFF grades, Keyshawn Nixon's the 6th highest graded corner in the league at a 78.4. Carrington Valentine is the 11th highest corner in the league at 77.4. Nate Hobbs, the 26th highest graded corner at 70.6. You got to go way down to 90th to find Javon Bullard with a 47.7. He's definitely struggled this year. Again, you guys know PFF's its own thing. We take it into account. We also take into the next gen stats and all that stuff. We also watch the tape ourselves. I feel like this is a pretty accurate depiction of how Bull has played this year. I don't know if you agree with that or not, Jake.
Unfortunately, I do. And I think that more than Bullard playing poor, I think that Carrington Valentine's just played so well that he deserves to have more snaps. We went into the into the preseason. I personally was very worried about the wide cornerback room, and pleasantly surprised to see that we have 3 guys that are basically considered starting caliber if you listen to PFF. Really excited about the progression that Hobbs has made. I think Keyshawn Nixon may be one of the most underrated guys that are on our team right now that people kind of look past. And then obviously CV doing his stuff, coming in with a 79.4 coverage grade, just a tick below where Keyshawn's at with the 80 flat. That's beyond what I expected from those guys. I'm not saying that I didn't think they were good, but I really like that they've kind of stepped up their play there. And yeah, Bullard, obviously, if he's hurt, I don't want to force him back in there, especially when other guys are playing at a better level right now. And that's not to say he can't get better throughout the year, but as right now, we got to play the best dudes that deserve to be on that field. And right now, I think it's clearly Keyshawn, CV, and Hobbs.
Yeah, definitely. Hit that super chat for me. I'm going to pull up the receiving grades here.
Bosco Jenkins says, with the matchups, who leads the wide receiver room tonight?
Great play.
I personally, I know that Romeo Dobbs loves playing against the Cowboys. It seems like he always seems to make a couple big plays. I personally thought I wanted to see Wicks get involved early and often. I think that he's been a guy that's another kind of flying under the radar. And I want to see, and I know you asked wide receiver room, but I want to get Tuck Norris more involved. Last week, I feel like we didn't get him going as much. And I feel like when Tuck is flying around, just leaping over people, staring them down, throwing those tattoos all over the place, that the offense just gets rejuvenated by that. But I would say it every week. Is this a Matthew Golden breakout? I mean, the guy's still one of the best in the NFL right now at separation. Let's just hit him in the hands. Let's have him stay in bounds, run that sucker all through the end zone and just shut a lot of people up. And then once he gets one, I feel like he's going to just explode.
Yeah, and for me, when you look at this, guys, when you're looking at just the PFF grades alone, as Micah just took the field, obviously can't hear the TV. I've got it muted, but you guys let me know if I'm sure you got cheered. I expect to be a lot of cheers. So when you look at the PFF grades here for the Packers, so this is just one game. That's interesting. I don't know why it looks like it glitched out or what have you. What I was going to say, though, I'll just get that off the screen. I don't know why. To answer your question, Bosco, with the super chat, with the matchups, who leads the wide receiver room tonight? For some reason, I'm feeling like it's going to be Wicks. However, Dobby was another guy that got really, really involved last time they played in Dallas. And keep in mind, it's a totally different defense, right? So it's not like that's going to trickle into the outcome today. But for me personally, I think Wicks is going to continue to improve, especially with Jaden Reed out. Now, if you're asking who I would like to see happen, I would absolutely love for Matthew Golden to just go off. Just go absolutely off tonight. That would just be the chef's kiss. Win by a couple tutters and have Matthew Golden go over 100 yards would be absolutely awesome. But if I had to pick one, it's probably between Dobbs and Wicks. I'm leaning toward Wicks. So I don't know. It just kind of feels like that might be the matchup here.
I think so too.
So we'll see how it shakes out, though. Trying to get see if we can get another live shot of the field here. Let's go to the standings real quick. We should have those scores and everything up to date now with the latest standings. So why don't we do that real quick? We'll run through the National Football Conference, also known as the NFC, and see exactly how everything shook out after football today. I believe all these are up to date. So the Eagles are now 4-0. They're leading the NFC East. The Commanders are at 2-2. Cowboys come in tonight 1-2. Giants are now 1-3 after beating the Chargers. That's still a wild outcome there. So 49ers and the Seahawks, along with the Rams, are all 3-1 in the NFC West here. Oh, didn't mean to click that. In the NFC West. So you can see it's a three-way tie there for first place. Essentially, the Cardinals are sitting at 2-2. The NFC North now, the Lions are now at 3-1. Obviously, the only loss coming from the Packers there in week 1 to kick off the season. Packers before tonight, 2-1. So if we can somehow, some way get a dub down there in Dallas tonight, you're going to come out tied with the Lions in first place for the North. The Vikings are now 2-2. The Bears are 2-2 after squeaking out that win there against the Raiders. So, yeah, don't look now, man, but the Lions are looking just as strong as they were last year. Just so happened they ran into a buzzsaw in Green Bay there in week 1. Now you go to the NFC South. The Buccaneers are leading the way, 3-1. The Falcons are 2-2. The Panthers 1-3, and the Saints, poor little Saints, 0-4. So big booster so far. So anything you want to add there to the conference standings, Jacob?
Yeah, I think the NFC West might be the toughest division right now. NFC West and NFC North, I think, are the two. And that's saying something because you got some good teams in the NFC East, but with obviously the injury for Jaden, or is it Jaden? That's obviously it slowed them down. It'd be nice to be in the Bucks in the South, man, because that, other than the Falcons, who just kind of got gifted one here and there, that is just a sloppy division right there. But I think there's something to be said that the NFC North is still going to be one of the toughest. The Lions, to their credit, they came back. They've looked like the Lions of old, and I'm just glad that we absolutely stole one from them in week 1, and that's going to really go a long way going into this long season. And what do you think about the Vikings having to play back to back? Do you think the NFL sweetened the deal and did something for them? Because that to me just seems crazy that they would have them play back-to-back Europe trips
overseas. That was crazy. Somebody had mentioned that earlier today while I was live streaming that game. I was like, that's nuts. I'm with you, Jacob. It seems a little odd. I know the Jaguars have done that in the past, but
yeah, the Jaguars.
They couldn't sell out their stadium. They had a huge fan following in Europe, it sounded like. So, but what's up, Daryl? See you in the chat, buddy. Appreciate you swinging through. This was Micah Parsons taking the field. It was from Matt Schneidman. I think he's up there in the media box, so it probably won't be able to hear it as well. Let's see if you can hear anything. Yeah, kind of hard to hear if he's inside. Assuming he's inside. But Micah takes the field here. Had Mandy's little cousin message me earlier tonight. She was crying emojis again. I'm afraid Dak's going to kill us. So, but you never know, man, about these things, especially on prime time. And I know this, if I was in that Dallas locker room, if I can play devil's advocate for a second, if I was in that Dallas locker room, Jacob, I'd be going, boys, we're not going to go out here and get embarrassed tonight. not on our home turf, and everybody, we got our own fans cheering on Dak, this and that. I would be pissed off. And don't think for a second that Kenny Clark doesn't want to have a statement game either, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't believe it. I think I read somewhere that he leads the Cowboys in pressures, Kenny Clark.
Mhm.
So, to his credit, they got the guy that they when Jerry thought that was worth getting rid of Parsons. I mean, and he said, hey, he's a good football player. Kenny's at least going down there and showing out, which I like. What do you think about? Can I throw some over-unders at you real quick and tell me what your thoughts are?
Sure,
Jordan
man.
Love's pass yards at 234.5. What do you think, over-under? Pass one yards always get me.
Yeah. Jaden Reed out, three starting offensive linemen hurt. I'm going to take the under there, believe it or not.
Yeah, I honestly would too. CJN says, hit that like button for you guys. If you could hit that like and subscribe, share, do all that fun stuff. And maybe share it on your, your Facebook, your X, whatever, because we are going to be doing a post-game show. So if you want to throw that feed in there, get in the chat before the game, that always is fun to do. Moving on to rushing yards.
Hold up just a second, Jake.
Oh, yep.
Sorry. Jen Wright says 284 passing yards. Jen, I hope you're right. That would be absolutely awesome. That'd be
Looks
great.
like a lot of other people are saying over. Dale saying over. Clint saying over. Doc saying over. Mm-hmm. So, okay, I like that. They got Jordan Love at 6.5 rush yards. I personally would slam the over on that just because it seems like lately he has been no problem pulling that ball down and running with it. Even throwing his shoulder down in some situations. I don't know if I like that. Josh Jacobs, though, they have him slated at 72.5. Oof.
That's interesting. They got like the 9th best defense in the league in terms of yards per carry allowed. What'd you say the number was again?
72.5.
72.5. I would probably take the – it's tough, man. I don't know.
He's due for a
break game too.
They're going a lot of overs in this one here.
Yeah. And I'm the king of the under. Just know that, guys. I couldn't tell you the last time I actually gambled on an over bet. I'll try to find those gem of the unders because more things can go wrong than right. A player could get banged up, leave the game in the first quarter. All right, you got your under. You know what I mean? That type of thing. But I love the optimism. I'm going to go over on Josh Jacobs. I think they're going to really try to press into the run a little bit, man.
I like that. This to me seems like almost a gimme. Emmanuel Wilson, they have him slated at 4.5 rushing yards.
Oh, slam that. Are you serious? 4.5 yards? That's easy money right there. Well, listen. We do not give gambling advice.
No, we don't.
Program, okay. But if I was a degenerate gambler and had all the money in the world to gamble, I would probably hammer the Emmanuel. So, Bosco Jenkins with the super chat says something about a grown man in green gold. No Diddy. Hey, amen. Amen to that, Bosco. So, go ahead, Jay. What else you got, man?
No Diddy. It's such a great way of saying that. Receiving yards. Josh Jacobs at 14.5. I think I'd take a page out of Clayton's book and go the under on that one.
See, now that's the one I feel better about the over. I feel better about the over on you said 14.5 receiving yards for Josh Jacobs?
Yeah.
I would feel better about the over there than the over on Jordan Love in general. That makes sense because they're playing a lot of cover 3 zone. That's check down central, right?
Right.
So that makes sense. But
here's an interesting one. You guys, this is Prize Picks, so them and Underdog are pretty close. But if you have time, it might be fun because they've got another interesting one. Malik Heath, 2.5 receiving yards. Just saying, that's one catch basically.
It's basically one catch. Do you think he'll have a catch or not? Now think about the receiver room and how banged up it is. We've been playing more 12. It's obvious they want Tucker Kraft and Luke Musgrave on the field, so it's going to be harder for Malik to get on the field. That's a hard one to pass up on. All it takes is one injury in that wide receiver room tonight. Somebody break a shoelace. Next thing you know, Malik Heath gets a whole drive.
Right. So. Both Dobbs and Dontavian Wicks. So Dobbs is at 41.5, Dontavian at 39.5. So basically, kind of neck and neck there. If I had to pick one on an over, I think I'd go Wicks. If I had to pick just one.
What was the number on Wicks again?
39.5. Romeo's is 41.5.
Oh, so they're close.
Yeah.
It's obvious Romeo and Jordan have much better chemistry than he and Wicks do, but it's also pretty blatantly obvious the coaching staff all the way back to last year has wanted to get Wicks more and more involved. So that's a very tough one, man. I would almost hammer the over on both of them.
I was just going to say, it's interesting too. Just receptions. They've got both Dobbs and Dontavian Wicks at 2.5. to me is an easy slam over, but
they always seem easy, and then you look up at the end of the night, damn it, I lost my money.
Yeah, exactly. But I threw together a lot of these just $1 entries. They got Tucker Kraft at 4 receptions, Matthew Golden at 3. Yeah, man, it's so crazy because, like you said, it seems so easy on paper to do that, and then by the end of the game, you're just like, I had it in the bag, and I lost it.
Soder said over on Heath, so he's all in on that. Jen Wright said over on Heath as well. I'm assuming, or maybe not Heath. Maybe she was talking about Wicks. She said Wicks separation over, so I think she's hammering the over on Wicks there. So
yeah, but yeah, if you guys want to go build, and then they obviously have sacks. It's basically just I like what they're doing now. So for Edge Cooper, they have 0.25 sacks, so a quarter of a sack. Basically, is he going to get a half sack or not? Man, I don't know, dude. They've got where did they have so Parsons? They just have 0.5. I really do think that he's going to get a sack tonight. I think that there's just too much adrenaline and that grown man to put out a dud tonight. It's going to happen. I really do think.
Yeah, I could see that too.
The bots coming in here. Let's get them bots out of there.
All right, so Ryan Wood just tweeted out offensive line and warm-ups from left to right. Rasheed Walker, Jordan Morgan, Elton Jenkins, Sean Ryan, and Darian Kennard. So
there we go. That's
nailed
what
it.
Said.
Yeah. So there you go. There's going to be your starting offensive line. All right, Jacob, let's get ready to wrap this thing up, man. We're about 20 minutes from kickoff here. So anything else?
We must be getting close because I feel like I'm gonna throw up. So you know what that means. No, I mean, like I said, I want to have a fast start. It seems like that when we come into Jerry World, that's how we usually control these games, is we jump out fast and we never look back. I want to see Matthew Golden. Like I said, I don't know why, but I feel like that this may be at least a touchdown for him this game. And while everybody's focusing on Parsons, I want to see what Gary can do. I want to see that big dog have like a 2.5 sack game. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely want to see Parsons eat, but I'm very, very excited about what Rashawn Gary and LVN, dude. If LVN can throw together a pretty strong game, like which one are you going to isolate? You cannot stop all these human meat missiles, if you will.
Yeah, 2-0 for this says, I let out a sigh when you said Morgan so soon. So he was worried he was going to play at right tackle. I'm with you there. I'd much rather have a Kennard at right tackle. We may be wishing it the other way by halftime, though, 2-0 for this. You know how this can go, man. It can go south quick. So I know Eldergrim said, can Walker not play a lick of right tackle? He never has. So I'm assuming what they've gathered, he can't play right tackle. Because that might be the secret recipe, Jacob, until Tom gets back, which Tom isn't on IR, so he's probably going to be back for week 6. We're obviously got the bye week next week, so I imagine he will be healthy for week 6. But, but watch this whole time, Eldergrim. That would have been the answer, right? Morgan plays great at left tackle, and Rasheed Walker made an easy transition to right tackle, and that's what we should have been doing all along. Hopefully we don't have to find that out, because that means someone else got banged up tonight, and we had to really shuffle some things around, obviously. So, all right. That's it, guys. We're going to get out of here, man. We got, about 20 minutes till kickoff, so I give everybody time to go grab something to drink, get settled in. The PTA post-game show link is already up. If you guys would, before you hop out of there, hit like for me, hit subscribe, click that bell icon so you're notified when we go live, and you guys can hop into that live stream over for the post-game show. It won't go live until the game is over, but the chat is already running, so you guys can kind of use it as an in-game chat. So feel free to do that. I'll be in there hanging out as I'm tweeting out during the game, all that good stuff. So everybody enjoy the game. Win, lose, or draw. We'll see y'all for the PTA post-game show. We appreciate y'all so much.
Here we go.
Bye, guys.